Let me tell you about two guys I know. Both of them grew up in the same town, went to the same kind of schools, and landed jobs around the same income level, about $65,000 a year. Both of them were responsible with their money. No crazy spending, no gambling, no wild lifestyle. But fast forward 20 years. One of them is sitting on a $1.2 million portfolio, owns a rental property, and is talking about retiring at 58. The other one? He's got $40,000 in a savings account, and he's stressed about whether Social Security will even be enough when he hits 67. Same starting point, totally different outcomes. So what happened? Was it luck? Inheritance? Some secret investing formula only rich people know about? Nope. It was one core difference in how they each thought about money, and once I show it to you today, you'll never look at your bank account the same way again. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jack, and today we're breaking down the biggest difference between savers and wealth builders, and more importantly, how you can make the shift if you haven't already. Let's get into it. Alright, so let me introduce you to the first guy. We'll call him Mark. Mark did everything his parents taught him. He got a steady job, he cut back on eating out, he drove a used car, and every single month without fail he moved $400 into his savings account. And honestly, by most standards, Mark was doing great. He had an emergency fund. He wasn't in credit card debt. His friends actually came to him for financial advice. The problem? Mark's savings account was paying him 0.06% interest. That's not a typo, 0.06%. He was putting money away. But that money was essentially just sitting there, not working, not growing, just existing. Every year, inflation running at 3, 4, sometimes even 7%, was quietly eating away at the purchasing power of his savings. The money looked the same on paper, but it could buy less and less over time. Mark felt secure. And that feeling of security, it kept him from ever questioning whether there was a better way. Here's the mindset trap that got Mark, and honestly, it gets a lot of people. Saving feels responsible, and it is responsible. But saving alone is not a wealth strategy. There's a difference between protecting your money and growing your money, and Mark never crossed that line. Now let me tell you about the other guy. We'll call him Derek. Derek had the same income as Mark, same bills, same responsibilities, but Derek had a different question running in his head all the time. While Mark asked, "How do I keep what I have?" Derek asked, "How do I make what I have work for me?" Different question, completely different result. Derek wasn't reckless. He still had an emergency fund. He still lived below his means. But once he had 3 to 6 months of expenses saved up as a cushion, he stopped just piling more money into savings. Instead, he started investing. At 27 years old, he opened a Roth IRA. He started putting $300 a month into a simple S&P 500 index fund. Nothing fancy, nothing exotic. He also started reading, listening to podcasts, maybe even a YouTube channel or two. He learned about compound interest. He learned about dollar cost averaging. He learned that time in the market beats timing the market almost every single time. And here's where it gets real. $300 a month, starting at age 27, invested in something averaging 8% annual returns, which is actually below the historical average of the S&P 500. By age 60, that's over $560,000, just from $300 a month. Mark, with his savings account at 0.06%, that same $300 a month over the same period, about $100,000. Same discipline, same sacrifice, 5 times the outcome. That's not luck. That's compound interest, doing its thing, but only for the person who understood it. Okay, so here's where I want to slow down and get into the actual mindset, because this is the part most videos skip over. The difference between savers and wealth builders isn't really about spreadsheets or stock picks. It goes deeper than that. It's about how they see money's role in their life. A saver sees money as something to protect. It's a safety net. The goal is to not lose it. And because of that, any risk, even smart, calculated risk, feels terrifying. A wealth builder sees money as a tool. It's not meant to just sit there. It's supposed to work. Every dollar is either working for you or it's slowly losing ground to inflation. Wealth builders understand something called opportunity cost. Every dollar sitting in a low-yield savings account has an invisible cost, the return it could have earned somewhere else. End comment cetera. Now, here's something I want to be very clear about, because I don't want anyone to walk away from this thinking savings are bad. They're not. You absolutely need savings. Emergency fund? Non-negotiable. Short-term goals? Car, vacation, down payment coming up in a year or two? Savings account, or a high-yield savings account, makes complete sense for that. But there's a line. Once you cross that line, once your emergency fund is funded and your short-term needs are covered, continuing to pile more into a savings account out of habit or fear, that's where people get stuck. Savers often stay stuck because the saving feels like progress, and it is, up to a point. But wealth builders recognize when they've crossed into saving out of comfort instead of saving with purpose. So, what does a wealth builder actually do differently on a day-to-day basis? Let me break it down. Number 1, they pay their future self first. Wealth builders automate their investing. The money goes into their brokerage, their Roth IRA, or their 401k before they ever see it. They don't invest what's left over. They live on what's left over after investing. Number 2, they get comfortable with discomfort. Markets go up, markets go down. The stock market has dropped 20%, 30%, even 50% before, and then come back stronger every single time in history. Savers pull out when they see red. Wealth builders stay in, or they buy more, because they understand that downturns are just sales on good assets. Number 3, they invest in their financial education. Derek didn't need a financial advisor to tell him what an index fund was. He spent time learning the basics. Not to become a Wall Street trader, just to understand enough to make smart decisions and not get taken advantage of. Number 4, they think long-term by default. Savers think about this week, this month, this year. Wealth builders are playing a 10, 20, 30-year game. They make decisions based on where they want to be in the future, not just what feels safe today. And number 5, and this one's huge, they put their money in assets, not just accounts. Stocks, real estate, index funds, businesses, these are assets that generate returns. A savings account isn't an asset in that sense, it's a holding place. There's a difference. Now here's the part I really want you to hear. If you've been a saver your whole life, there is nothing wrong with you. The instinct to save is not a character flaw, it's actually a really good foundation. Most wealth builders started as disciplined savers. The shift isn't about throwing your savings out the window, it's about graduating to the next level. Here's how to start even if you're starting from zero. Step 1. Make sure your emergency fund is solid. 3 to 6 months of living expenses in a high-yield savings account, which right now can actually earn you 4% or more, by the way. FDIC insured. Zero risk. Do this first. Step 2. If your employer offers a 401k with a match, contribute at least enough to get the full match. That's a 50% or 100% instant return on your money. There's nothing in the stock market that guaranteed. Step 3. Open a Roth IRA if you qualify based on income. In 2025, you can put up to $7,000 a year in there, and it grows completely tax-free. That's a massive long-term advantage. Step 4. Keep it simple. You don't need to pick stocks. A low-cost S&P 500 index fund or a target date fund gets you instant diversification and historical returns that most professional fund managers can't even beat. Step 5. Automate it and leave it alone. Seriously. Set it, forget it, and let compound interest do the heavy lifting over time. That's it. It's not complicated. But it does require making the decision to stop just saving and start building. So let's bring it back to Mark and Derek. Mark isn't a bad person. He's not financially irresponsible. He just never made the jump from saving to building. And the painful truth is, millions of Americans are in Mark's position right now, working hard, being responsible, and still not moving the needle on their actual wealth. You don't have to be one of them. The biggest difference between savers and wealth builders isn't income, it isn't luck, it isn't even knowledge, not really. It's a decision. A decision to stop letting your money sit still and start putting it to work. If this video gave you even one thing to think about or act on, do me a favor and hit that like button. It genuinely helps this channel get in front of more people who need to hear this stuff. And if you're new here, subscribe. Every week I break down real personal finance and investing topics in plain English. No fluff, no jargon, just the stuff that actually moves the needle. I'll drop a link in the description to a video I did on how to set up your Roth IRA from scratch if you're ready to take that next step. I'm Jack. Go build something, and I'll see you in the next one.